Hi you guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new, welcome here. My name is Kylene. I wanted to take the opportunity today to just kind of like share with you guys what has been on my mind this past week since knowing the gender, which if you guys missed that video, stop it right now. Go watch that really quick because I'm gonna spoil the gender. If you did see it, then you saw that we're having a little baby girl and I could not be more stoked. So I kind of just want to like talk about that, the dynamic of having a girl, and then I also just wanted to touch briefly on like just my struggles in the past year of motherhood and how I plan to kind of conquer that beforehand, before having another baby, before adding another child into the mix. I also asked you guys on Instagram just some questions you have about my transition into 2 under 2 and just like the difference of having a boy versus a girl. If you guys missed it, I think about 3 months ago, I posted a video about my fears surrounding having baby number 2. And at this time, I think I was actually pregnant, but I did not know. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to dive deeper into that now that it is actually our reality instead of just kind of like a thought. I feel like I keep just referring to past videos, but I'm assuming all of you guys like keep up to date with me. But 2 videos back, I talked about how I had my first therapy session last week since I was a teenager, and I just kind of wanted to like dive into that a little bit more too. So the biggest thing I feel like is I want to tackle just kind of like what has been on my mind this past year. I don't really feel like anything has technically been like wrong, but I do feel like I have struggled more this past year mentally than I have my entire life. And the fact that the only thing that changed was that I became a mother has made me struggle even more mentally, because this is something that I literally have wanted to do for years and years and years. And I definitely didn't think that I would struggle mentally by becoming a mom. I haven't really liked that, and I feel like I really want to work on that before having another child. I also struggled a bit with postpartum anxiety. And so with all this being said, I really just wanted to chat with someone before having another baby, because I can only imagine that all of this is just going to be amplified because now I'm going to have 2 babies to worry about. My agenda for this session was to talk just about the feelings of joy and lack of joy in the mundane parts of motherhood, and just like kind of conquering getting over that my life is now very monotonous, and how to kind of work through it and make it not really feel that way. And then I also wanted to chat a bit about my relationship with my husband, because I have a huge fear that as we add more children, we're just gonna grow apart, and I really did not want that to happen. So that was kind of what I told the therapist I wanted to talk about. In the middle of the session, I just randomly started bawling, like completely bawling. I feel like I just needed that release, and I feel like that's the beginning of this all, of just trying to figure out like how to work through the mental struggles that is motherhood and parenthood. My kids were 100% planned. Like, we planned Rocky and we planned this baby girl. So that's what has made me struggle even more too, is like I really wanted it, and I felt super blessed being able to have them so easily. And so you feel guilt about feeling that way, you know? It's just kind of like a downward spiral of just like negative thoughts. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of chat about someone and see like what they had to say. And the biggest takeaway that I got from my session was to practice mindfulness, which it's funny because I saw it in another YouTube video the next day. Someone else was talking about it, and then I saw it like on Instagram periodically. I swear, just the universe like puts things into your life like that. Just the practice of like being present, fully present, and just being there and being mindful of the thoughts that you have and the things that you allow to kind of just like affect your day and your mood. And so that's something that I really want to work on. I feel like all of this doesn't really get talked about much in motherhood, and trust me, I get it. It's hard to be vulnerable. I know most people don't really care to have like their personal thoughts on the internet, which I clearly don't mind sharing, but I share with hopes that 1, like you feel less alone, just knowing that these are all normal thoughts, even though they're not normally talked about, or 2, that you go talk to someone like I have. As I raise children, I want to be in the best place that I can be mentally, and so yeah, that was kind of my push towards this. With all this being said, I wanted to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. If you guys haven't heard of BetterHelp, they are professional therapy done securely online. It is not a crisis line, it is not self-help, but BetterHelp is available to all clients worldwide. So basically what you do is you go online to their website and you fill out a short quiz in which you are able to answer a bunch of questions about yourself, and BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with a licensed professional therapist where you can can start communicating within 48 hours. There is a broad range of expertise and BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapists, which what is super cool about that is you may not have that access available to you like nearby, but with their platform online, it allows it for you. You can log into your account at any time and personally message your therapist, and you'll always receive timely and thoughtful responses. You can schedule weekly phone or video sessions online, so you never have to uncomfortably sit in a waiting room like traditional therapy kind of forces you to do. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to switch if you feel like the one that you are matched with isn't the one for you. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available if needed. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. So if you've been looking to chat with a therapist yourself, visit www.betterhelp.com/Kylene. That's betterhelp.com/Kylene. And I have a special code for you guys. If you guys want to receive 10% off your first month, then you can click that link and it will give you that discount. Join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Again, if you're wanting to start today, click the link in my bio and receive 10% off your first month. I know this video is a sponsorship, but you guys, truly from the bottom of my heart, I hope that you speak to someone if you need to, because I just feel like as we raise children, like we just need to be the best person that we can be. And I have found a lot of times talking to someone who doesn't really know you but just kind of lets you vent has been super helpful. If you guys want me to share my journey as I kind of try to like heal through motherhood, let me know, because I would love to share with you guys and just, I don't know, share what I'm learning throughout the process. Okay, we will finally jump into the questions. I'm sorry that took so long. All of these questions I feel like have to do with like the mental struggles that I've been having throughout motherhood and kind of how I plan to tackle them. So that was what that like entire backstory was for before answering these questions. And of course some of them are just like super fun too, and just our thoughts on having a baby girl. So yeah. Okay, first question is, how do you feel about having a girl? And you guys, I could not be more stoked. If you followed along, I really wanted a girl selfishly, but I did want a boy for Rocky just because they're so close. I thought it would be cool to have 2 brothers. So that is like the only like sad part I have about having a girl. But of course too, I just need to like disclaimer or put a disclaimer in there that I, of course, just want a happy, healthy baby. I feel like that's obvious, but when we're talking about like the fun preferences, that's kind of why I'm sharing. I am so stoked to just see Nathaniel with a daughter. The love I have for Rocky, I feel like is just like so special since he's a boy, and I just can't wait to see Nathaniel just like melt by our baby girl. I also of course can't wait for like the kind of just like dumb things of like dressing her in dresses and bows and that kind of thing. But I'm also stoked to just like braid her hair and like take her on dates with me, like a mommy-daughter date. My sister-in-law was talking about like the day we can get like our nails done with her, which like, are you kidding? That's gonna be so fun. And I'm just also excited too to just like help her plan her wedding one day and like be a part of that. I'm overall completely thrilled, and it does not feel real, does not feel like my reality, but I can't wait to have one of each. It's gonna be so fun, and I just can't wait to see Rocky be a big brother to his little sister. What is your biggest fears surrounding having a daughter? I feel like this is kind of like a deeper fear, but I fear that I'm going to like mess her up mentally. Like I truly fear her not being just like proud and confident of herself based on like things that I could have like subliminally done to her, which I don't think I'll do that. Like I know I'm a good person, but I just feel like you learn more as a child through like observational learning, and I just really want to be the most like positive influence on her, and I feel like that's a lot to put on myself, and so that's kind of like a huge fear of mine, is just that I won't do a good job with that. But yeah, besides that, like I don't really feel like it's gonna be any different than having a boy. I just feel like there's a few more things that girls tend to struggle with more. Not to say boys don't ever struggle with it, but I personally have struggled so much with my body image, and that's something that I really don't want her to struggle with, which I know is kind of inevitable, but I feel like we can hopefully minimize it and just make her strong and confident. So next question is, what are you most nervous about when it comes to having 2 under 2? So if you guys don't know, our babies are gonna be 19 months apart. So it's not even just like 2 under 2, it's almost like 2 under a year and a half. Like they're pretty close. And so I just fear that I'm not gonna be able to like give them my full attention. I just know that they're going to be demanding in different ways, and I fear that one of them will be kind of pushed to the side because of it. I feel like Rocky, like at first I don't want him to feel like neglected or replaced, because I'm gonna be super cautious with the baby, and he's more self-sufficient than she will be. And so I fear that he's gonna feel like resentment towards her or towards me because of that. I fear schedules. I just know like this second baby is gonna have to be so much more flexible, which I feel like will be a good thing, but I just fear like them never being asleep at the same time, which means it's gonna be super hard for me to do really anything else. I fear just like the hardships it's gonna put on my marriage of just me and Nathaniel being overly tired and exhausted and just having so much on our plate, and us kind of putting each other on the back burner. If I'm being like completely honest with my fears, I don't think we will do that, but I know that at times it will be easier to tend to our kids than to each other, and that scares me. I have a lot of fears. I feel like it's gonna be hard, but they're of course outweighed with all of the just like positives and the excitement that comes with having 2 kids. But yeah, I'm a little fearful. Next question was, what's the biggest thing that you want to do differently? And I feel like I've said this 1,000 times, so if you have heard it already, I'm sorry, but if not, my biggest thing is I want to let her be more independent. With Rocky, I literally every waking second he was awake, I was right there next to him, and I don't really think I'll even be able to do that with this girl. So I feel like she inevitably will kind of just like receive that anyways, but I just want to let them be a little bit more and just kind of be more hands off. I feel like I have noticed throughout motherhood, the more that I just kind of like take a step back and let like Rocky figure things out and just kind of be, the better he has kind of responded. And so yeah, I just kind of want to do that a little bit differently. I feel like everything else, I'm pretty confident in the way that I have raised Rocky so far, and I'm really happy with the way that he has turned out. So I feel like that's really like the only thing that like kind of sticks out to me. The next question was about schedules, and someone asked, how will I handle 2 schedules as they probably won't line up? And I don't really know the answer to this. I've heard from a lot of people the first few months is just kind of survival mode, so I don't really plan to do anything crazy at that point, but I'm just really hoping that both of them will be a little bit more flexible, and we'll have to just kind of figure it out as we go. That is definitely something that I will share with you guys as I struggle through it, but I know that I'm gonna have to be more lenient, and I'm okay with that. But I don't want to not give this baby structure, because I've seen the huge benefits that has come with it for Rocky, and so I don't want to be too lenient. Like I definitely want to still just like do the same things that I did and provided for Rocky. Like I don't want to give her like the short end of the stick, if that makes sense. So yeah, I will share as we go. The next question is, how will I balance work with kids? And honestly, you guys, I don't know that I'm going to be able to work with 2 kids if I don't have help. I've struggled enough not having help with one. I feel like there's no way I'll be able to work with 2 kids, especially as they are younger. Once they get older and they're both kind of on that like 1 nap schedule, I feel like it'll be easier, but until then I'm gonna need help. I'm praying my mom quits her job. I have told her so many times that I want her to. I don't know if she's watching, but mom, if you're watching, please quit your job. She works for the school, and so I'm due in April, so I'm hoping that like after the school year she just like won't go back. But if she doesn't, I'm gonna have to find some sort of daycare or a nanny to come help us or something. Nathaniel and I have been talking a ton about this lately, because even now I feel like that would be super beneficial to just kind of like get into that routine. But it's really hard finding someone who's consistently there to help you and that you trust if it's not family. Next question was, are you nervous about how Rocky will bond differently with a girl versus a boy? And honestly, a little bit, but not as much as you would think. I really feel like at the beginning it's not really gonna matter that she's a girl. Like they're just babies. You don't really know that you're a different gender. But I also know that I'm really close to my brother. He's 2 years younger than me, and my sister is 2 years older than me, and I'm close to both of them. So I know that it's very likely for the opposite gender siblings to be very close to each other. I do know that there's a few things that bond like boys and girls a little bit better, so that does make me a little sad, but I don't think they're gonna have a problem. I feel like they're gonna be best of friends, and I just like cannot wait to witness it. Yeah, I think it'll be great. Okay, I really liked this next question because Nathaniel and I actually have already talked about it, and the question was, do you have different worries based on gender, and do you plan to parent your kids differently? This is something that I honestly kind of have been worried about because I know that Nathaniel is very protective over girls. He has a little sister and he's very protective over her, and his views for boys and girls are definitely different, but it's something that I don't want to do. I don't want Rocky's emotions to be downplayed because he's a boy, and I don't want our girl to not learn how to be tough and strong because she's a girl. Like, and I know those are very stereotypical, but this is something that we really don't want to do. But I know inevitably there will be some aspects where we kind of do parent them a little bit different when it comes to boys and girls. I don't think you can just like sit here and be like, oh no, I'll parent them the exact same, because no matter if they were a boy or girl or boy and boy, you don't parent every single kid the same, because all kids are different and require different types of parenting. So yeah, me and Nathaniel talked about it, and we both said that we really want to try our best to parent them both the same way. Of course, like I said, we know there'll be different things and our kids will probably be different, but the goal is to treat them as similarly as possible so that they both have the aspects that are typical of boy and girl. I also really liked this next question. The question was, do you think you'll breastfeed this baby as long as you did Rocky, knowing that toddlers are very demanding and stressful? I hope so, but I am not going to sit here and say 100% yeah, because my journey with Rocky was a struggle. If you guys watched my video where I explained the entire first year breastfeeding Rocky, it was not easy. And adding another toddler to that mix will only make it so much harder. I don't want to use it as an excuse, and I say that as politely and kindly as possible. I want to try and work through it as best as I can, because I want to give this baby what I gave Rocky, but I am very aware that it will be harder because of that, and I'm not closed-minded to the idea that I might have to give her formula at some point. I'm gonna try, but I understand what you're saying, and I'm very aware that it's gonna be hard. But you never know, this baby might nurse like a champ. I know I'm not gonna be able to nurse her in silence like I did with Rocky, so she'll have to figure it out a little bit more. But maybe that will just be her normal. She won't know anything different. So that is the plan still, but we will take it as it comes. With nursing, I always took it day by day and just made it as many days as I could. I thought this next one was cute. The question was, what is your biggest advice that you're looking forward to sharing or telling with your daughter? I just hope to teach her through example as best as I can that she is capable of anything. And I hope to teach Rocky that too. I don't feel like it differs between girl or boy, but I just want to show them that they can do whatever they want to do in this world. And I want them to be confident in what they do. I feel like confidence and self-worth is definitely a really hard thing to teach really anyone, but it's something that I don't want my kids to struggle with. I want them to know that they are capable. So that, and of course I want them to be kind. The next question was kind of fun. Someone asked, what do you think she'll look like? And Nathaniel and I have said this before we even knew she was a girl. We are convinced our daughter is gonna look like Nathaniel. She's going to be dark hair, dark eyes, just dark features. Which, you guys, I feel like if you know us personally, you know that Rocky actually looks like Nathaniel a ton. He just has blonde hair, and it's hard to get past that, but the kid literally is like Nathaniel's twin. And so that kind of makes me think that maybe this baby will look like me, but she'll have dark features, which would be really cool too. But I will be shocked if we have another blonde child. I am shocked that we have one blonde child, especially our first child. But we know her hair will most likely be dark for the first little bit. Like Rocky's was, his did not get blonde until it fell out and regrew, which was like around 6 months old. Okay, last question I'm going to share because I feel like this is getting pretty long, but the question was, do we have any names picked out? Which, if you saw my gender reveal, you saw that my dad like guessed the gender by saying the girl name that we like, and so I like bleeped it out. That is the name we were going to use for Rocky if she was a girl, and we still really like it. I would say we're about 75% sure on that name. We feel like there might be another name out there. We don't know. We literally don't have any like contenders. We have a couple that we like, but we know we wouldn't use, which I will be doing another video like that. If you guys watched my video when I was pregnant with Rocky, I did baby names that I love but won't be using. I will be doing that again because I feel like that's so fun to like watch. Yeah, I will definitely be sharing that, but we do have one name. We are not sharing the name until she is born. I don't want comments on her name, and that's why I'm not sharing. So yeah. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that this video is helpful in any way. And I hope that if you are struggling through motherhood mentally, even if you don't feel like it's a big deal, like I don't feel like my struggles are a big deal, but it's totally worth it. And I just want to say thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.